My name is Dwayne. I'm an energy engineer with KW Engineering. Our company was brought in by the district to investigate energy efficiency. And in investigating higher energy use than we thought at Hillview, we discovered that the lighting system here was never calibrated when it was first installed. So I'm going to discuss with you just how the lighting system works in the classroom, and so you know how to operate it each day. This is obviously the power switch. It turns on all the lights in the classrooms, and it does take about 5 minutes for all the lights to warm up to their full brightness. And you may also notice that the light fixtures that are by the windows are actually controlled separately, and we'll talk about that in a second. Those may take a little bit longer to warm up to full brightness as well, as they're calibrating to the photosensors. We measured and set the light levels in the classroom to about 40 foot candles, which is the high end of the industry recommendation between 20 and 40 foot candles for mixed use, including paper and reading tasks. So these light levels that are default when you come into the classroom should be good for most anything that you do with students. Students also have really good eyes compared to adults, so you shouldn't worry about them too much. However, there may be situations when you need additional light, and these buttons over here can give you that. The high button here is set to raise the light levels in the classroom, and this would be used for things such as doing science labs, detailed drawings with pencils or something like that, or just if you have any situation where you need additional light. If you unclick the high button, it'll actually go back to the normal levels. The other setting option that's here is the low button. That brings the light levels down to about 20% and could be good for stuff like watching movies or doing laptop work. Again, if you unclick the low, it'll go back to normal. Some of the classrooms don't have these labels. They are all situated like this. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, it's actually high, low, sensor override, and whiteboard. Sensor override deactivates the photosensor, so any of the fixtures that are by the window that may be controlled differently, if you have any issues with those, you could override the sensor. That shouldn't be needed if at all. And this happens to be what the photosensor looks like. This is actually measuring light. If these window shades are open, you would be getting more light, and it's possible that it would turn down the settings or the dimness, the brightness level of these fixtures that are against the window. The last button here is just whiteboard. This is on and off for the whiteboard lights that are right and in front of the whiteboard. It just controls those as an on-off switch. Finally, these two banks here are the different sets of light fixtures. One is in the interior of the classroom, and the other ones are the ones that are next to the photosensor. I'm not sure which ones is which. It depends on how the class was wired. But you can actually adjust up and down the different levels on these ones. So I'm going to go all the way up here, and I'm going to just hold this one and go all the way down here. That'll let you figure out which one is which. And we can see that here the ones by the windows are pretty dim, and the ones on the inside are very bright. These settings here can get a little sticky. Best way to kind of clear it out is you can actually click low, and then it should all go to low, and then if you unclick low, it'll go back to normal again. And the other thing to note is just these are on-offs for the entire set of lights in the entire classroom. They're both wired to do exactly the same thing. Another thing to note is the window shades should be brought open as much as possible. There's pretty good lighting design in these classrooms. It does allow a lot of natural light to come in without too much glare. So whenever possible, these should be open. It's healthier and a better work and learning environment for students. Also a note, this is the occupancy sensor. Each classroom has one that looks basically exactly like this. The lights are designed to turn off automatically after 10 minutes of no detected occupancy. And when it detects occupancy, there's a little green flash on these sensors. So that's it. Basically, most of your control will be just at this one on-off switch. This should come to appropriate levels of lighting for most of the stuff you'll need to do in your classroom. And again, you have the high-low as well as the up-down buttons to get exact control if you need to. Again, these lights will go off with no occupancy, but it's always better to actually just turn them off manually. It saves a little bit more energy, and there's no adverse effects on the lights. Thanks, and enjoy your great lighting. Thanks.